At the end of 2012, the European Commission awarded us with the CROSS project. It's a wonderful initiative. Right now we're at the middle of the project, and what we're trying to do is to focus on the pilot. So we're right now in the operation and experimental phase of the project. This means that we have 4 nodes that are running with this pilot. We did all the kind of office work, and we did all the planning and all the definition and the study, the analysis of the processes and the procedures. And right now we are running them in our 4 nodes all across Europe, specifically in Sevilla, in Spain, in Manchester, in the UK, in England, and in Italy, in Turin and Rome. In order to make this experience run better, we're simply not only working on procedures and processes, but we're trying to do something that makes sense also from an innovation point of view. So we're introducing a technology. We're trying to make it as easiest as it can be for our users. And here users are something quite particular, because we're talking about beneficiaries. So we're talking about poor people, elder people, dropout students, different kind of categories of people that have problems, elder people. We're talking about associations. So we're talking about communities, which scope proposed is to help people, is their main mission, non-profit organizations. And we're talking about volunteers. Volunteers is people that have spare time, or for religious or for any kind of different kind of reasons, it wants to help people. In order to make this process work perfectly, we need to implement ICT solutions that make it easier for all the people that are connected and are part of the process, be able to work as efficient and as efficient as they can. For this reason, the 4 nodes, we are analyzing and implementing some applications. Applications that are multi-channel, because we want these applications to run on the web, we want them to run on smartphones, we want them to run on tablets, we want them also to be able also to manage them in case that our user, our citizen, our volunteer, our person that needs help doesn't have any kind of technology on his hands, so it's possible for other persons to be delegated to work in order at their place. In the 4 nodes, we are implementing 4 different pilots. The reason for doing that, considering that this is an experimental project, is to have different scenarios and different use cases, so that we can at the end test them, compare them, and understand which is the best solution, which one is the solution that is more suitable for the scope and for the objective, and for continuing with success this project in the future. So in Rome, we are implementing a specific kind of app. When I say app, don't think only about a kind of iOS, Apple or Android solution, but think of functionalities. Think of something that is helpful in terms of ICT, in terms of processes and procedures, in order to make it possible to request a service that can be, I need somebody to pick me up because I'm old, or I have my leg broken and I need to pick up medicines, or I need to go to a cantina because I don't have enough money to eat in the afternoon, or I need somebody to pick me up or do grocery, go to the grocery and buy food for me because I'm not able to move, or I'm older, too old, or stuff like that. Or please, let's organize training sessions because I'm a dropout school person and I would like to start working, but I need some competencies. So organizations help me in gaining abilities in order to present myself on the workplace. So all these kind of different things, we want to manage them through a structured procedure. In order to make it possible for our all the pieces of this end-to-end process, it is necessary that each actor is able to communicate with something that's generic and without the need to be deeply informed of which is the right solution. So let's consider the CROSS project as something generic that is able to create a marketplace between different actors of the chain without the need to know each other exactly, but with that kind of helpful thing that I know that I go there, I ask what I need, and there is a structured platform of persons, people, technology, and whatever that makes me communicate with who may offer that kind of service. Or on the other side, I'm somebody that has some spare time, I have some competencies, I want to put them on the table and offer them to the society. Cross is the kind of platform that will help me to help others. Maybe it's using the same word, mixing it up, but it makes sense. It's a way to help people, to help others, and facilitate communication between organizations and people. The project duration is 36 months. But since the beginning of the project, our attention was of what will happen when the project arrives at the 37th or 38th month. The reason of this is that we are very focused and convinced that it will not simply be a pilot project, but our intention is to be sure and guarantee that we're going to build something very important that will be extended not simply to the 4 cities we're piloting with, but will be a kind of package off the shelf that may be implemented and started up in any other city of Europe and the world. This is what is our challenge, but it's also the mission that governs us every day in implementing and going on with the project. During the last months, we had already a wonderful experience in starting up and deploying the Rome solution. When I say Rome solution, I mean start up the pilot, the node, start working on volunteer activities, start measuring numbers and transactions that we are already posting to our backend central database. But it also means starting to deploy our application, starting to test and see what it means in terms of user experience and how the people that is interested and involved in the project is responding. Because when we talk about technology, at least on this project, we're not thinking about it as just putting some technology on the project, let's see what happens. But we're mainly focused on the change management aspects of the project. So what we're very much concerned about is user experience, usability, how much it's user-friendly, considering that the people that will interact with this application, that will interact with the system and all the platform, with Cross at 360 degrees, will be people that not in all cases is very used to technology. So we want to be sure that things are simple, easy, and understandable quite quickly. Qui ti ho messo la frasetta che ti serve. In designing the configuration of the partnership of this project, we, as Italiana, so as the main contractor and the coordinator of the project, were very much focused on being sure that all the partnership had the right pieces in order to not simply be a kind of pilot and test something new, but have also in place the right competencies, the right skills, right experts, in order to be sure to think about all the different aspects about the project, be able to manage eventual open points or issues, address them correctly, and at the end have a blueprint that is doable and that is realistic. For this reason, we were lucky in choosing the right cities in order to pilot and test this solution, because we're talking about the best on the market in terms of smart city initiatives, and that are very focused on what it means to evolve the way a municipality talks, speaks, manages their relationships with their citizens. So we're talking about Sevilla, that has some wonderful best practices in terms of Banca del Tiempo, and has already deepened knowledge about these kind of issues and these kind of relationships with certain categories of population and citizens. We're talking about Rome and Turin, that are very strong in the Italian arena in terms of what it means to be a smart city and already offer a wide range portfolio of services to their citizens. And we're talking about Manchester, that has very different cultural aspects within the same city, and we're focusing on an area of Manchester where there is a lot of people that needs help and looks for aid and help in social organizations. Okay. As Poste Italiana, very much interested in this project because we consider it as something that is able to help people. We put on the table our brand and the trust that people has in us, because as a former national incumbent postal operator, our business is a lot of time mixed with the social utility of being a postal operator. So we're very close to the people. We are one of those few organizations, very capillary, that are present in each single village and town. So we think that we are the ones that may help in disseminating and making this project a success, because we know what people is looking for, because walking with our mailman or with our post offices through every single city and every single street of the country allows us to have a kind of privileged picture and view of what's going on in a country and which are the social issues that need to be addressed. One of the critical success factors of this project is the presence also of one of the main and most important social associations present in Italy, but not only Italy, because they're volunteers and their organizations spread through the country, and it's the community of SantEgidio. We consider ourselves very lucky to have them on board, because they are giving us so many good suggestions and are addressing us on how things have to be done in order to be successful, in order to be compliant with a different kind of persons, people, citizens, organizations that are interfacing this concept that CROSS is. We like to consider this initiative, the CROSS project, more as a program than a project. Why do I like to say that? Why do we like to say that? The main reason is that, first of all, it's not simply an innovation project in terms of technology. It's an innovation project in terms of idea, of general idea, in terms of smart city arena and how to interface people and how to manage in the correct way volunteer work, and how to recognize and remunerate in a non-monetary way these kinds of contributions. So we like to consider it as a program where there are procedures, policies, technology, and all other stuff that together brings the project to a concept, but a concept that is easily doable and easily implementable. From this point of view, one of the critical success factors is surely the fact of implementing solutions, generic app, that permits people in a mobile way, so in the easiest way possible in 2014, 2015, 2020, to interface with system, with procedures, with a catalog, with a portfolio of services. In Rome, my personal impression is that we're doing a great job, we're on the right track, and I think that we will be able to influence the way that volunteer work will be done in the future. Because with this solution that we're putting in place, it will be easier for everybody to offer themselves in terms of volunteer work, but it will also be a better way to motivate people to do volunteer work, because they will be recognized more easily. We're not talking about money, we're simply talking about that kind of niente taglio perché non è venuto. One aspect that we need to consider and focus and stress, and that we don't enough, but I think we all think that it's very important, is how the European Commission and the people from Brussels are following us and supporting us through the project. In all the relationship we have with them, if it's an interim review, it's an annual review, or it's a review of deliverables, or it's just brainstorming on how the project is going on and stuff like that, we are very much appreciating the attention of the people, all the commission that have very deep skills on social activities, academics, and things like that, and that are giving us very, very, very good suggestions on what should be corrected. They are integrating our point of view, because it's very important in a project like this to have also reminders, suggestions, point of views of people that's not inside the project and that has maybe a more clear view from outside. This is something we're very much appreciating, and surely one of the critical success factors, and that will permit us to reach the end of the project with a very good solution and with success.